Action, y'all. Hey, look, we got a superstar here today. Look, hey, y'all feel me? Hey, yo, it's your boy Benji, and welcome to Benji's Corner Podcast. We have one of our most famous guests here, returning again. Very humble man, very, very good brother, very good, very great child of the Lord, man of God, a man who has done what some may call the impossible. What very few has done, he has set himself among the ranks of not just man, but of God, because of the dream in his heart and what was placed on it. Today, I would like to introduce you to MeFree Lee. For those who are here for the first time, and for those returning, you already know who MeFree Lee is. He's been running free ever since he hit the water. Welcome, y'all, to Benji's Corner Podcast.
Hey, thank you, Benji. That's a heck of a introduction. But first and foremost, I it, it I would it's this journey is a journey of God. I wouldn't be here without Him. First and foremost, um, He is doing amazing things in our lives, and let's not forget where He's taken us from and to where we are now. And that's what He did for me in my life. So I would never forget that He is the reason why I'm able to accomplish anything in life. And so yeah, first and foremost, all glory to God, bro.
Always, all
Yeah,
glory to God,
yeah.
bro.
And so yeah, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be done with this journey. It was took about 8 months and 37 days.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little.
yeah.
But I remember sitting here with you last year, and we just at the beginning talking about it and wondering, you know what, how long is it going to take, and all the things that I would couldn't imagine going through. And here a year later, almost a year later, and you know being done with the journey that God has put on me, and to accomplish it, knowing that that's the purpose that God had for me. That it's man that feel it's just an amazing feeling to know that this is what God put on me, and to see that it has reached the people that it has. And this was God's vision from the start. And I was just moving along with it because God needed somebody to be the vessel. And I am so um, blessed and so grateful, thankful that I was able to be the vessel being used for this, to hopefully inspire others that, through our addiction, through our brokenness, there's still um, that light at the end of the tunnel, and we could achieve anything through the power of Christ. Even in addiction, especially in addiction, we could come out of it and be not just a better person for ourselves, but for everyone around us in addiction. And that was the vision that was given to me from God, and I'm so thrilled that I could be able to carry that out on through. And so yeah, and I'm just so glad to be here with Benji again, talking to him. um, he's been there from the beginning, and so it's just nice to sit down after all of it, and celebrate this moment with him, and you guys out there too. So it's good to be here,
Yeah,
bro.
for real, bro, man. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure, bro. Man, it's like I'm really like so speechless, you know what I mean? To even have like the honor to know someone who has done this and who has done what you have done, to be able to call you my brother and my friend, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for real to be like, yo, not only do I just, like know that guy, I know that man. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like where to see people chase their dreams and to see, like where how God is moving in their lives, to see how where the cornerstone that was rejected is now the foundation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you say, like, man, we came from addiction, bro,
Yeah.
and that's very hard to beat, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I say beat because we never have to go back, you know what I
Right.
mean? Through
Yeah.
God that sent us, we never have to go back, bro. And that like in itself is, saying we're just the hope and the light, you know what I'm saying, and the vessel, like you mentioned, you know what I mean, of God to, what I'm saying, let people know, hey, there is a way out, you know what I'm saying, even at your darkest moments, and you can accomplish anything, you know what I mean? Like how we're like my dream, right? You know what I'm saying? Like what was
Yeah.
like placed on my heart, which was the Saved by Grace Living, the nonprofit, helping people. And he's allowed me to use like the platform, you know what I mean, to share stories like these. So,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even in my very first one, right? You know what I'm saying? I kind of like not interview myself, but I just kind of just speak on where it came from, the beginnings and stuff like that. And he placed on your heart to run across America,
Right.
America, y'all. Like really to like where. So when I seen the video of him touching the waters, you know what I'm saying. Make sure
Yeah.
y'all go check out his page, check out his journey, check out everything that he's been through. And so when he started in Maryland,
Yeah.
that Maryland, right?
Yeah.
And so
Ocean City, Maryland. Yep.
Ocean City, he touched the waters,
Yep.
and then he started running.
Yeah.
He,
As soon as I touched that water from the East Coast Atlantic, and uh, at that time, I was just like, man, God, here we go. I don't know what's going to happen during this journey, but I'm going to touch this ocean and I'm just going to take off and I'm going to follow you. And you lead, I follow. And from there on, so touching that. So and getting back to going and then finally, that's what made this journey so like emotional for me, is because God was there at one side of the ocean, and then when I touched the other side of the ocean, God was still there.
Whew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. So to have God from one ocean to the other, man, I could just feel the presence, bro, of like, and I'll, bro. So I'll tell this quick story. When I was running across the Golden Gate Bridge,
Mhm.
it was just a blur.
Oh, okay.
And then as soon as I got to Baker Beach,
Mhm.
the just remember the NBC guy running up to me.
Oh, wow.
Well, he was walking towards me and he was like, "Hey, come here, I want to interview you." And so
Yeah.
I walked over. Bro, I was gonna go straight to the ocean,
Oh,
but then
yeah.
he kind of broke the
Oh,
buffer,
yeah.
the ocean deal.
Yeah.
And so so this is like the truth. And so I kind of was like focused right there on the beach, and I was just heading that way, and then boom, he was like, "Hey, I want to," like, and then he broke my,
Oh, your focus kind of
and then
like
I
your.
just went over to where he was,
Okay.
and then but so the next thing, it was all a blur, and then and then when the next thing I knew, I was getting interviewed by him, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, I turned around and I walked over to the ocean, and
Oh,
that's when, seeing the wave come in, the
yeah.
water come in, and then I there's the video. My buddy Jesse took the video, and I reached out. The water came. I
Yeah.
jumped up and then jumped out of the way, and then I went and touched it. And just to when I touched that water, I felt the presence of God, and
Mhm.
that, hey, you know what, I've carried you through across this whole country from one ocean to the other. And that was when it finally hit me that, wow, this has been accomplished. Like up
Yeah.
until that point, it was like the Golden Gate Bridge was all a blur, but then when I actually touched that, it kind of like everything came back, like all the senses came back and said, it's like that water was just like some miracle water that like
Yeah.
woke me up, and then
Yeah.
it said, wow, you actually did it. And then I, I just thank God,
Yeah.
in a whisper, I was just like, thank you, God. And you did it, and so the presence right there was really strong. And because that kind of like made me realize, hey, you've done it, you accomplished it, and God was there with you every step of the way. And so that was a big
Yeah.
moment, and
Uh,
I just want
yeah.
people to know that whatever you do in life, God's going to be there, and he's going to show it to you, like how he did with me in that moment. And so there's actually another moment prior to that too, but we'll talk about it in a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a
And
big moment for me, just touching that ocean,
yeah. And it's
the Pacific,
yeah.
and both of them were really cold, but um, man, it's just an amazing feeling to touch both ocean within an 8-month period.
Yeah, for real. Like that's man, that's like unheard of. You know what I mean? And like when you like if like when I hear like because I've heard about people, I've seen it in the movies. I heard about people running across America, but I never actually like seen it done or followed their journey or anything like that.
Yeah,
And like how where I like how you said that where you were on your mission to touch the water, right?
right.
You know, but God stopped you for an interview to reach the people, right?
Yeah,
And you know what I'm saying? Like this is and then he walks you into glory. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And like so that's what I'm saying. Because I didn't know that part, like where you ended up
yeah,
just walking to it. So that's beautiful, man. Like
yeah. It's kind of like God saying, you know what, you could thank me in a bit, but go share. what
Yeah.
I've done first, you know? And
Yep.
so you could come back and think, you know, me, and then touching that water was just God saying, you know what? Yeah, you know, so, um, you know, just to tell people on a, you know, bigger audience to that, you know what? This is what God has done for me. I think God, you know, I truly believe God wanted me to let that out first, and then when touching that ocean, it's just thanking Him and saying, you know what, we've done this, you've done this, you carried me through this whole journey, and so, and God knew that already. He didn't, you know, He wanted the people first, you know.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
wanted to make sure, you know, I say, you know, that this is what God has done, and then, you know, because I will always have that time to thank Him, you know,
Yeah.
because
Definitely.
yeah, because bro, I'll tell you this, Benji, on
Mhm.
this journey, I have like every day I would just get up and the only person, like, I would conversate with God so much, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I was just gonna say, how was that, bro?
yeah, bro,
Because
I would just
it's like,
every day I would get up and just conversate, not just like even throughout my whole run,
mm,
during the day, during when I get up, I would talk to God. I would do my devotional and spend a little time with God, alone time, and then after that, you know, people would say, you know, you would just do your thing. But for
yeah,
me, it was a constant thing. It wasn't just the devotion. That was
right.
just a bonus on top of what we were going to prepare for the day. But during the
Yeah.
day, I would still be just talking to God all day. So it's like a nonstop devotional all day, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I like the way you said that because, like, like you're reading your devotionals, each day to start off your morning, which it's an amazing routine, and that's where, like, for people, like, because, like, for me, right, like, I would say, like with going through teen challenges stuff, like, it revitalized my faith, because
Yeah.
it showed me, like, the Serenity book that I got from, from them, and just reading each one, right. And so, like, where we, like, okay, yeah, we start off our mornings with God, but how has it helped your direct connection with God? With when you mentioned you constantly talk to Him every day, bro, or you're like in
Yeah.
every moment you're
So,
having a conversation with
yeah.
the Lord, the
So the
Creator.
thing is that, okay, so a lot of people, they get up, it's a routine, right? They get up and they'll
Yeah,
do the devotional and they
mhm,
say, I did it already. I'm
mhm,
moving on to my day.
yeah,
But for me, during my run, that devotional was a setup
mm,
for the day of spending time with God even more. So
yeah,
the devotional wasn't the you know, like the little time I'm spent with God and saying, hey God, you know what, I'm done with this, let me go get my day started. And it was just like, God, this is the beginning, this is the prep for what we're going to do today, but you know, I'm going to spend my whole day with you, and this is just the prep. You know, it wasn't like, hey, I did my devotional, I'm good. It was like,
yeah,
this is the beginning,
yeah,
preparing for the day, you know. And it wasn't I didn't have that where you pause for the day and you go and do your thing, because
right.
I didn't have the option. I didn't have anybody else to talk to,
Ooh,
and I didn't want anybody else to
yeah,
talk to,
yeah,
because um I built that relationship with God, you know, and I've never had that relationship, that intimate relationship with God, where that was all I relied on, that was all I needed.
yeah,
I didn't need anything. I didn't need to get and what I want to tell people is that that's the basis of what God
mm,
is what we need in our lives is just Him, and that's it.
yeah,
And so, running across America, I realized that you know what, I don't really need anything. I need God, and that's it. And to not have that option of, hey, you know what, I got other people I could go talk to. No, the only people I talk to are the ones that I prayed for. And
mm,
even during that time, it was about God, you know. So it was
yeah,
telling them my story of how God got me there. So um this whole journey, it has not only strengthened my faith, but it also has taught me so many lessons in the you know, that God has taught me to know that God will be by my side at all times, and to only depend on Him. So now, bro, like my life now, I don't, I expect things to happen. I expect
Yeah.
miracles, bro. You
Yeah,
know,
for
like I'm
real.
walking like today, right now, I'm
Mhm.
expecting good miracles to
Yeah.
happen. I don't just wish it would happen. I don't just pray for it. I know
Right.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, you anticipate
Yeah.
seeing
So
his
you know,
greatness.
so after going through all that, and I, I now believe that God could do things. He could do miracles every day for you. You know, and
Yeah.
so that's the biggest thing that, um, and I want to tell others about those miracles. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I agree because you were actually out there with the people. Like I remember there was times like it's not like you stayed in a hotel every night, you know. There was
Right.
nights that what I'm saying, like we were like, yeah, I just slept outside. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
There
saying?
are a
Like
few
so
of those
how
nights.
how was that? Like because I seen you, what I'm saying, there with the people that like people who are outside and what I'm
Yeah.
saying, being in their community and stuff like that. How was that with reaching the people?
Um, it was to bring the word of God to people is something that I would never be tired of doing, because when you see the hope in people's eyes, when you bring the word of God, and lift up their spirits, I don't it doesn't matter how bad of a day what you're going through. When you see people's eyes light up, you just want to bring more of the word to them, and so I would tell you, Benji, there's moments when I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna, like, it's just getting tough out here. But I would meet people and they would give me the strength to go on, with the words of encouragement. And I truly believe that God is working through them too to keep me going. And God put them in my life at the right time too. For instance, in Colorado, I was just like, man,
Mm-hmm.
Colorado was tough. And I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, keep going today, because you finish a mountain elevation and miles after miles. And um, there's this gentleman I met, and he was just like, man, I was about to, just to go off the cliff.
Yeah.
And you coming in here running with your shirt on and running free and praying for me, that really was what I needed to hear from God.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so that changed his life.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I'm
And
getting the
so,
chills
yeah,
just
bro. So
hearing
after
it.
that, I was like, man, there's no way I could stop now.
Yeah,
I was like, there's no way I could stop right now, because I made such that God came into that man's life right there, and that was a life saved.
yeah,
So it's not about me. I keep going back about me, but God's like, no, it's not about you. And I'll remind you, it's not about you. I
yeah,
will push you to meet people like him, to keep not him going, but you going as well. And
yeah,
so I'm reminded, and we are all of us are reminded every day that it's not about us. It's about God. It's about
yeah,
what He has for not just me, but everybody else. And so I realize that we all are in this world together, but we through God, we all affect each other, intertwine our lives together to
yeah,
make each other better, because God is working in all of us. So when I say God is taking me on this journey, yeah, I'm correct too. But at the same time, God is also taking that guy on a journey too.
yeah,
And I don't see it from that perspective. I see it from my perspective. But when you realize that, you know what, I just made a difference in his life, you realize that, hey, I'm part of his journey now,
yeah,
and that's the most powerful thing, because um you know when his life is changed and God affects his life, he could go and
affect somebody
yeah.
else's
And so
life.
that's the
Yeah,
intertwine of our lives. So God being omnipresent, that's what it means. He is working in that guy's life, working in your life, and working in other people's life. And so that made me realize that, hey, you know what, I need to really not just pray for people, but really get the word of God out there, because yeah, there's people out here that needs God, but there's also people that don't know about God that needs to
Mhm.
hear about him too. The
Yeah,
brokenness of other people, I see those people and I go tell them that there's God and what he's doing in my life. But what about the people that are not broken? You know, they need to know about God too. And
yeah,
I've seen, um, just to let them know that there is God out there, even if you're not broken, you know, even if you're
yeah,
living that day to day, you
right,
still need God no matter what, because he's omnipresent in our life and he's working no
yeah,
matter what. And so little things like that keep me going, you know,
yeah,
Benji.
absolutely.
Yeah, and
That's
so because
mm,
I'll tell you guys, Colorado was tough. We could, you know, we
yeah,
could talk about
yeah,
Colorado. I spent
yeah.
almost a month there, bro.
What? Oh,
Yeah, like two.
smells.
Well, I was like partially
Mm,
like resting
mm.
my. I was kind of slightly injured there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so but just it wasn't major. Yeah, I just
Mm,
needed. I think I was just pushing too hard.
yeah.
So
I was gonna say, speaking of God working in your life, right? So I see, like, so if you look behind us, the cross is behind us, which means God's got our back, right? And I know they can't see this on camera, right? But before us, I see the heaven gates. I see the gates opening, right? So like that saying, like, when one day when we reach heaven, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I pray the gates open, like, you know what I mean?
right.
And like, but can you let them know like where we are right now?
Yeah,
Let them know
for
about
sure.
just
Yeah,
the because we're in the house of the Lord, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just to let you know, like, where it seems like everywhere we go, everywhere, you know what I'm saying, everything that we're doing, like, not only is God with us, right? It's like it's amazing how every time I look up, I'm like surrounded by God. Like, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Everything's a constant reminder. So I'm gonna go check this. You let them know where you at right now and what's going on in this place. Where you
Okay, so yeah, we're at Living Waters International Church here at in St. Paul, and they were kind enough to allow me and allow Benji and me to shoot this podcast here at the church here, open the doors to us. And so again, Living Water International Church. Thank you to Brother Va. He was able to get this, let us in and use this place for the podcast, which is an amazing deal because we get to talk about the journey God had for all of us in the house of the Lord, and so that's like even better. So yeah, Living Waters International Church, they're doing a great job in the Hmong community, along with my brother Va and Pastor Jer, Pastor Hova, and Kabao. Um, so thank you to all of them for letting us use their church. So a shout out to them, and yeah,
yes,
it's
big
great
shout
to
out to
yeah. So
y'all.
it's great to be here
We
in this
appreciate y'all.
the place of the Lord, and to end it, uh, to do our third podcast,
Yeah,
the one.
yeah, this is the third one,
Yeah,
huh?
this is the
Okay,
third one,
yeah.
and
Oh,
it's just great to be here. So once again, thanks to them, and
yeah.
so we're
Thank
very blessed in that sense.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for being a part of, you know what I'm saying, for welcoming me and welcoming Lee and being a part of his life as well, because I see how much y'all work not only just in the community, but also helping his brother in his life as well. Every time I see that, like, you're really like involved, which is, it's always so cool how where you can bring like the different cultures together and the different people together, and you know what I'm saying, and to
Yeah,
talk about God and to just you know what I'm saying, just to spread his word and everything. And it's like, like when we went to where was that? Was it Hamon or no? Uh
Hmong, Hmong.
what's his name? When we took that road trip with your brother. Remember we went
Uh,
to the mall and then we went to the farm. Mua?
oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What's his
Oh
name?
yeah. Brother Moa.
That's his name. Yeah,
Yeah,
brother
Brother Moa
Mua.
at Hog
Yeah. Yeah,
Masters.
yeah, Hogmasters. Yeah, yeah. I thought
Yeah,
that
we
was
went to go meet up with him
really
and present
cool.
him with I think
Yeah.
a hat
Yep.
before I took off for this journey. And Brother Moa from Hogmaster, he has been such an amazing brother to me, and I'm so glad that I've met him. I'm so glad that he was part of this journey. I know he doesn't really desire the light on him, but
Yeah.
he's a very humble person. But I will say that he was a part of this as much as I am, because God has worked in his life as well. you know, God has blessed him, and he has been obedient to God too. And so
Mhm.
that's a brother that I will never ever um, you know, forget what he's
Yeah.
done,
Yep.
because he was being obedient to God too. When
Yeah.
you know, at the beginning of my journey, and he reached out and really supported my journey. So I
Yeah.
want to say thank you to brother Moa and at Hog Masters too, man. That dude is
Because to
such
see,
a humbling person, and I'm glad that I was able to, right before I took off, to go and
mhm.
visit him, and he came and visit me after I was done too. So yeah,
Because like just from seeing your like all your support and things like that, right? Like man, shout out to y'all people because like we're it's like and then like even like you know what I'm saying because of like how where I'm at right now like bro it's like every time I get to experience something new that I've never done before, you know what I'm saying, like whether it's like we're setting up somewhere or whether we're just going to a new place. Like when I had first pulled up, right, I didn't know that like this was a church. I'm like
yeah,
I'm thinking like you know what I'm saying, like a church building this and that. I'm looking on the GPS. I'm like, am I in the right place? And so
yeah,
I actually drove past it, and then when I came back I looked on the I looked on the GPS and it said that I'm here, right?
right,
And so y'all like I'm sitting in the parking lot, right? I'm about to call Lee, but like so this is like so when I'm feeling lost, like well I was feeling lost, right? Like
right, right,
you know what I'm saying. I look up and he's right there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He's actually he had tried to call me, but my phone I didn't hear the call, but I
yeah.
looked up and I seen him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
so I
it's
saw
like
that big smile.
yeah, yeah,
So I
like
couldn't miss that big smile
it's
anywhere. And I'm
like
so, you know, happy, so glad to see that smile. But going back to
yeah,
what you were saying about different uh, people,
mhm.
but one thing that I've seen is that it doesn't matter what color we are, bro.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like when you bring the word of God, that's
Yeah,
universal. That's the word I was
exactly.
looking for. It's
Yeah,
universal, bro. Everywhere you go,
yeah,
it doesn't matter what you look like. It's universal. God
yeah.
speaks to everyone, bro.
Everybody,
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's just not Hmong. It's just not other people.
yeah.
It's just when you speak when you bring the word of God, everybody gets it, bro.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah,
definitely. I agree with you, bro. Cause
yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like where I don't even see color, bro. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like where, you know what I'm saying, just seeing like the characteristics of people, like where, you know what I'm saying, like who they are, and then like, you know what I'm saying, seeing the light in them, seeing the God in them. Like
yeah,
I got this thing where I always say, like, so let's say like I'll use an example. Somebody cuts you off in traffic, right? You know, most people usually get mad or may allow it to frustrate them, right? I don't even get mad, bro. I just say,
yeah,
oh, that's their human side. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, cause they're God's side, you know what I'm saying? Like the
yeah,
God that's in them that I see, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, they didn't, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we're, seeing that light in people and not seeing like color or differences, cause it actually brings us together. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
So you know what? So that's a big part of it too. The unity that God brings to everybody,
Yeah.
and that's, you know.
Oh, sorry. Just want to make sure they can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
you're good.
yeah. So
Right.
the unity, the universal unity that God does, and for everybody, you know, because um, you could be, bro, you know, you could be sitting at a, you know, anywhere, and when you bring the word of God, I see like different people of different ethnics come, and they all, it's a beautiful thing to worship together. I see like
Yeah.
Asians, Caucasians, and, you know, all of the races all mixed
Mhm.
in, Mexicans, or, you know, everybody,
That's
and they're all
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
worshiping the same God. That's just an amazing
Yeah.
thing to see. And sometimes I would just sit back and watch it and be like, "Wow, this is amazing." It's such a universal thing, and to see that, to see people just worshiping God, and that's what God does. He
That
brings
is.
everybody together, and He doesn't discriminate against anybody, because we all are His child, you know. And I think that we forget that sometimes, you know. Um, I want to say this, a Bruce Lee quote real quick. Bruce
Hey.
Lee was asked in the 70s, like, hey, you know what? You're an Asian American actor. How does it feel to be portrayed as only Asian? You getting Asian parts. And I think he gave a very profound answer. He was like, you know what? Under the stars, under the heavens, we are all one family, you know?
Yeah.
And so I really truly believe that.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that we all are the children of God, we all have the same brokenness because I've seen it, not just
Yeah.
in St. Paul, not just in Minneapolis, not just in Minnesota, but
Mm,
everywhere I go. You think that, hey, you know what? I got away from Minnesota. It might be different, but no,
mm.
it's the same, bro.
Yeah.
They're all going through the same thing we're going through. They all
Wow.
need God. They all need hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
That's,
doesn't get any different. Yeah, it might, the location might change,
mm.
the scenery might change, but no, we're all the same.
If you
No
could.
matter where I go, people are all the same. They're scared, they're nervous, but
Mhm.
they all need God in their lives.
Yeah.
And so the only difference is the way we think that it's different, you know?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I
I
because
know what you mean.
prior to this, I'm like, man, if I go
Mhm.
there, if I run across this country, what if I meet somebody different or
Mhm.
not different, but what if they're different way
Mhm.
of they're emotionally
Mhm.
or spiritually different from me and my needs and my wants, my desires. But no, they're the same.
Mhm.
They're human.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
That's,
they're as
that's
human as I am. Just look
yeah.
different. That's it.
Yeah.
But they're the same. They need that hope. They're going through the same things I go through. There's addiction everywhere. There's more than we might, you know.
We might think that we might
Yeah,
see if
and
like.
so you meet people and you're like, wow, they're not that different from me. And
Yeah.
no matter where I go, because I've been up in the mountains of the Appalachians, which is
Mhm.
beautiful and
Mhm.
very, very um what's the word, like foresty.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Very
Yeah,
rural. Rural.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro. And
Yeah.
I have never seen anything like that. I
Yeah.
thought I was in a different country. Yeah, because
What?
just the people up there,
Mhm.
like they were very they were surprised to see me running up there, you know.
Oh, they like, yeah, like that. Hey,
Yeah,
what you doing up here?
yeah, they're
Like you running?
yeah, and they're like, what are you running from, you know? I'm like, I'm just running,
Mm.
you know, and they're like, what are you running from?
Yeah, I was just
Nothing's
gonna
chasing
say.
me, you know. And so, but the people up there, it's beautiful up there. And it was, besides Colorado, that was tough too, because
Yeah.
just I actually got on some trails there for quite a bit of time.
Wait, you like lost in the trails, kind of
Yeah,
like
and
where?
so
Oh
I
wow.
would just be sitting there thinking, and like, man, I'm in the middle of nowhere. If
Yeah.
something happens, I mean, that was just going through my mind, like,
Yeah.
nobody would know, because I'm just out here by myself, bro. I could hear my heartbeat. I could hear, like, it was
Wow.
so quiet. It was eerie quiet, to the
It's
point where there wasn't any birds or nothing, chirping. It was just
uh,
like dead silent.
wow. So
Oh
he
shit,
brought you
my
through the
bad, bro.
wilderness, like what I'm saying. That's like where what I'm saying. That just like reminds me of what's it, John? What I'm saying, when he was in the wilderness, I believe.
Yeah,
What I'm saying? That's like the picture that I just got. You're in the forest, you're in the wilderness, you're because like I do like a little hiking and I like trails and stuff like that. Like I went to was it Lebanon Hills in Egan, right? They
yeah,
got these really I went out for to see the stars one night, right? Well, like first I went the first time I ever went was to see the stars, because they got like clear skies and stuff. But then
yeah,
I went again like during like so I went at like dusk kind of, what I'm saying? Like not too dark, but it's the sun setting. And they got these trails and stuff, right?
right,
And bro, I'm in there on the trails and it's so much land, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
yeah,
really spacious and like to where I'm like trying to read the maps. They're so like I was confused, you know what I'm saying? And there's no GPS and um so I kind of like get a feeling of what you're saying, like when you're just on these like trails and it's just woods and stuff like that. Like me, I actually had to turn around because I was like, all right, I remember how I got in here, but I don't know how the trail is gonna lead me.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And it was like
yeah,
getting dark and stuff like that. So I know what you mean. It's
yeah. So, like, it doesn't matter how dark that other side is. I know I
mhm.
have to go through it. There's no turning back, you know?
Yeah,
So
yo,
I'm just, no matter how, because sometimes you look, on the over to the other side, and it seems like it's going forever and it's dark,
Mm,
you just got to go, keep going, because I just
yeah,
can't turn back. And the other thing is that, um, like when I hit those spots, I would just, you know, like pray, bro.
yeah, yeah. I bet your prayer life was,
Yeah, yeah.
you know
So
what I'm
I would
saying,
just
really
pray. I'm
increased.
like, God,
Yeah,
most of it is just not asking for God for, I'm just saying, God, I have complete confidence in you
yeah,
because we're going through this right now, and I don't know what's on the other side, but I trust you, and let's
yeah.
just keep going. So it's more of like telling God that, hey, I'm still here,
Yeah. So you actually like there's like times like where like you actually tell God or when you're like when you're in your in your conversation with God, right? Where
Yeah,
you're telling God like, "Hey God, I don't know." You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're lost. Like you know what I'm saying? Like of all the information that we know that we've learned in our years here on life, right? Like, "Hey God, I don't know. I'm lost, but I trust you though." You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I know
yeah,
you're gonna do it because
yep,
he'll give us like you know what I'm saying like downloads like where you ever been just where you know, something will just come to you. And you're like, where did that come from? You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yep,
And like when it's like God, he, you know what I'm saying? So that's you know what I'm saying, that's beautiful because you know, you hear about that. Well you there's it depends. So with you know, just saying just being around people of the Lord and stuff like that, you hear about it more. But like where you also hear about like when I'm like out in the world per se, right? You know, let's say it's not like a church setting or anything like
yeah,
that, or you know what I'm saying? Like some people like and even myself at one point, like where it's like I didn't know that I could ask God or tell God, be like, hey God, I don't know
yeah,
what I'm doing, God, but I need your help, but I
yeah,
trust you. So,
yeah,
you know, and just following in the like in the faith, you know what I'm saying? So to hear you walking it through and like the
yeah,
fact that you even mentioned it because, you know, you mentioned the parts that are you know what I'm saying like your all parts of you are bright you know what I'm saying but it's like you know like our struggles you know what I'm saying not a lot of people you know speak about their struggles or what they're going through and you know what I'm saying so like where like if you were speaking to like for someone who's watching this right because you know we're gonna be on YouTube you know and so where, you know, for anybody who's like struggling, going through it, whether you're very strong in your faith, whether you know what I'm saying, you may not know the Lord, whether you may not you know what I'm saying, know of God, whether you do know of God, whether you are broken, whether you are fixed, whether you are healing, whether you are, you know, no matter what state you're in, like figuratively and literally, you know, because this is a world platform
yeah,
that we have. And so, you know, to just know that it is okay to like go to God and don't give up and that he can pull you through anything. He
yeah,
can get you through anything and like where so I'm trying to figure out like what I'm like trying to say, but just I just really want to like give hope to those people because you know what I'm saying, we made it out of something that you know what I'm saying, like people like, you know, they give up on and or you know what I'm saying, or they may go back or
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It's like I've seen like people that where like for me it was seeing people go back like where I would so anytime, like where you say, like you expect the miracles, you expect, you
right,
know what I'm saying, the goodness,
right,
you know what I'm saying, you expect the good things of the Lord to work in people's lives and in all
right,
situations. So it's like sometimes, like, oh, you know what I'm saying, I may see somebody like, well, let's say if they have a short, like not a shortcoming, but like a, you know what I'm saying, just speaking on recovery, like, you know what I'm saying,
right,
let's say they
right,
have
right,
a back step, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like where as much as like, you know what I'm saying, part of me is like, you know, hurt. And it's not like I'm not looking at them in like shame or looking down or anything like that, right?
right,
There's a hope in my heart because I know that they, you know what I'm saying, they reach the Lord, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they know the Lord already, right? But there's like a hope in my heart that's warm because I know that it's just another opportunity for them to get closer to God again. So I
yeah.
can't wait to see that journey again
Yeah,
in them.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I see a lot of that, Well,
Yeah.
bro, but you know what? Going back to the talking to God and God leading me,
Hmm.
um, I've learned that through TC
Yeah.
because I before I would get like okay, I would get like super nervous before I get up on stage. Remember all those choir trips and
Yeah.
testimonies?
Yeah.
Well, I've never done a testimony up to that point, right? And so
Hmm.
just getting up, and I've learned that, hey, you know what? Before I would get up on there, I'll do a little prayer and be like, God, I'm nervous right now. I'm feeling this certain way. You guys just gotta be honest with God. He already
Yeah.
knows, anyways.
Yep.
So, and just say, hey, but speak it out to Him. And
Yeah.
then I noticed that, boom, everything, the nervousness settles, everything goes away. And
Mhm.
so I transfer that into my journey too, as well.
Oh, okay.
So when I'm on the road, And in a situation like that, I use the same thing I've been using in choir
Mhm.
testimony through at TC
Yeah.
to say, hey, you know what, God, I'm in this moment right now. So and then boom,
And
calms me down. And that's God working. And
yeah.
so, and Benji, I still use that even when I'm not out there. I use it now.
Yeah.
And so my thing is that learn how to use that.
Yeah, use your tools, right?
Yeah.
Because how long have you been in recovery?
Well, it's been I've been sober for 3 something years now,
Okay.
and it's
Yep.
TC for like, yeah, so it's almost 4 years.
It's the same here. I'm on like three
Yeah,
years. I think this will be month 9 or whatnot,
yeah,
right? So like, cause I also use the tools that I
yeah,
learned in there
exactly,
that they,
bro.
that they taught us that they, and it's like where they're like, oh, you should, say if anything, let's just say, for someone who's like never been to treatment, it's like, or even if you have been to a lot of different treatments, right? Minnesota Adult and Teen Challenge, right? The
Yeah,
way that, like some people think it's the hardest program to go through because like you can't have cigarettes, you don't have a cell phone, this and that, right? But it's so worth it
yeah,
because of the new life that you get and then the tools as well.
right.
Because there's days where like I'll, saying like the devotional, read my serenity book, and for me, I got two of them, right? I got a new one, and it's the same book, but
Yeah,
I got an old one that where like I'd write the dates, like so I'd read the devotional of the day, right? And
yeah,
then I go to like the back of the book, right? I'd write the date and I would write what it means to me from the devotional I read,
yeah,
right? And so like we're like now this thing that I'm doing right is that I'm rereading the old book because it's the dates are still the same each year,
yeah, yeah,
and then like so I read it, see how I feel about it, what comes to
right,
me and stuff, and then I'll flip back to see what I wrote when I was in treatment. And I'm
right.
like, wow, it's like, like when you read the Bible more, I'm saying, more than once, or, I'm saying, so many
Yeah.
times, each time the verses, they,
Oh,
they're a
yeah,
little bit different
yeah.
for you depending
That's
on
yeah. That's why it's
where you
called
go.
the um the- what the words that are alive, you know.
Yeah,
And
the
so we're
living word.
living
Yeah,
word. There we go.
yeah.
So yeah, bro. Another thing is that um, you know how they say that when you're in high school or grade school or whatever, they're like, man, you never use that in life,
Yeah.
and you never do, bro. Honestly,
Yeah.
but you know what? I will tell you this: being at TC and learning about God and all these little habits, routines, or or as I like to say, the training ground
Mm-hmm.
of the
Yeah.
Lord for us.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that. The training ground of the Lord.
And
Okay.
so
Yeah.
going back to grade school and going through school, you're like, I'm never gonna use this. And coming out of high school, I found out that some of this, like, I don't use any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But the stuff that I learned at TC through in the Bible, I
Yep.
use that every day, bro.
Every day, bro.
Every
It's
day. So my
yep.
point is that why
Yeah.
isn't this tough? Like, why don't we learn about this in school?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I'm like here, I wouldn't be able to hear without being here, sitting with you, without my prayer life, without God, without the lessons I've learned through TC, without the habits, the routines, the
Mhm.
no cell phones. I had to go through all that to get here,
Mm.
and I used it to this day. I use it every day, every minute. I use it more than I could ever imagine, bro.
Uh,
Yeah, so that is all the lessons that that I've picked up from God
yeah.
while in TC, and I'm so glad I did. And I learned all those. Benji, guess what? They were all within the last 3 years of my life. Imagine
Yeah.
10 years if you spent with the Lord.
Right, yeah, bro. I was like, man, I think of that too, like where it's like for like, what I'm saying, this is like we're still like, what I'm saying, like we're just in the beginnings of
Yeah,
it. Because if you look back on the span of our lives, like we're coming up on 4 years, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And like so it's like we're if we had this in our lives, like when we were younger, like you say in school, I don't know how to do like trigonometry and all that stuff. I didn't even use like half of it throughout life, but like where, to learn about, hey, if you ever do run it, because they say just say no and stuff like that, but like where if you ever do need help, what I'm saying, tools and classes that help you, what I'm saying, how to
right.
reach out for help, how to ask for help, what I'm saying, like where, because everything that I've learned in like Teen Challenge too, bro, it's like it's natural, like second nature now. So
Yeah,
like, what I'm saying, I think that's so cool because it's
yeah.
so many
It
times
is.
where
It
it's
is. It's very cool. And bro, you know what? Um, these things they happen within the last 3 years of my life.
Mhm,
And imagine 10 years of your life, if you are consistently obedient to the Lord,
mhm.
how your life is going to be so much better because I'm speaking from my experiences from the last 3 years of my life until now. And all the stuff that I've learned at TC, I still use it daily, more than I could have imagined. And just being obedient to God and following in that lead. I had something to say. I
Oh,
forgot about it, but
oh,
yeah.
sorry, my bad.
No, 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 no. But the thing is that um, the last 3 years of my life has really, um, with God, has really outshined all the other years of my life.
Yeah.
And so I just, honestly, Benji, I can't wait for the next with God. I can't wait for the next coming up years. And I know that 2026 is right on the
Yeah.
corner.
Yep. Right around the
But
corner.
man, bro, I will say to the people that are watching, 2025 in my life for the first time, I could say that it's going to be hard to beat because of
Mm.
what God has done.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
And
okay. I like that.
so that
Yeah.
whatever God has done in 2025,
Mm,
I will tell you that if I think about it, for what's coming in 2026, bro, I don't want to miss one single minute of what
mm,
God has because of what has transpired, what God has already done in my life. Why would I?
right.
I
Yeah.
would, if we know what God's going to do, we realize the power, the magnitude, and the what God can do in our lives, bro. We don't want to miss a single minute of our lives.
Yeah.
And
Every day.
yeah, and so we want to like just get out there and preach the word of God, and it you can't help but inspire other people because if you're inspired by God, bro.
Yeah, for real. You
Yeah,
have to be, bro. And like, and he like with his hand on everything, bro, it's so like how where when you just keep walking in faith, keep, you know what I'm saying, keep going on the journey that he set for you, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's beautiful because just like where the places, like you say, is so I read this billboard today, right? As I was driving down, I think that's 35E, right?
yeah,
And it says, I don't even know like what company it was, but in big letters it said, "I'm living the best version of my life right now," or "I'm living." It's either it said right now or it's "I'm living the best version of my life." And I sat back when I'm driving around, I'm like, I am.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Out of all my years in life, you know what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
like we're 2025. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, it's been amazing, bro.
yeah. It just
Like,
keeps getting better.
yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Like with God, it just keeps getting better. Like,
yeah. You know what, bro? I also love the fact that now my life it's um stable. It's just
mm,
like this. It's not up
yeah,
and down.
yeah,
And I love the fact that it's balanced out. And I could say, for the first time in my life, and I'll probably keep saying this, but throughout my whole journey running across America, and this is all due to God,
yeah. All
I
glory
did
be to
not
God.
have one single urge or craving to go
Mm,
back to my old life.
yeah,
And so, you know, for to be sober is one thing, but to be sober and not having that craving is,
yeah,
especially when that was a part of my life for the last 20 to 30 years of my life,
yeah.
is just what God has done for me. He put that fire in me to just um, keep chasing whatever He has in front of me is more desirable than what the enemy
Hmm.
has.
Yeah, for
And for
real.
for that fact, I don't wish to go back because what God has filled me up with
Yeah,
is more than plentiful enough for me to keep going after that than
yeah.
what the enemy has. I don't care what how shiny it is. I would never go back because I've got something better. I've got something shinier
Yeah,
that is that it's not just good for me, but everyone else around me.
yeah,
And I wouldn't trade this for anything in the world, bro, because um, to honestly to say the word bless, and those are really good words, but what God has done is just no word could describe it, bro.
yeah.
No human word could describe it.
Yeah,
So
I believe you, bro. Like, cause like you know what I'm saying. Like when you mentioned that, he replaced it with something so much better that we're, you know what I'm saying? It's like how we're only look back to see how far I've come. And it's like, you don't have the temptation anymore. You don't have the cravings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like it's not even just the obedience part of just knowing better. It's like where the feeling that he has now, like you don't want to lose. Like for me, like I don't want to lose that. Like
Yeah.
it's like, like before it's like you had nothing to, or you know what I'm saying? Like I had nothing to lose, didn't care about myself, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? But like now after seeing what God has like put in me and what he's doing in my life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like people, it's the connection with God.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like where I don't want to lose my relationship with him. I don't ever want to like, cause before I came to MNTC, right, bro, I literally thought that I couldn't pray. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to where if you ever feel like you can't pray, if you ever feel like, nah, I want, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still, even in like my darkest moments, I
Yeah.
had the want to pray because I knew God. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
all my life, like, I've known God, I knew of him. And I'm like, I'm like, God, I want to pray. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But literally me thinking, like, no, I can't pray. What is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? But like now it's like it's such a blessing. So like for anybody out there, if you ever feel like you can't pray, you can. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like you can pray at any time, in any moment, in any setting, and everything. Like it's literally possible. And it's like where, you know, it's I remember what's the name? Ralph Berry, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From TC,
Yeah.
he's like where it's like one of his class, like he mentioned the people, the places, the things, you know what I'm saying, and like just certain environments, like sometimes you really have to take yourself out of those environments because some people they're just on like a different path, you know what I'm saying, and like
Yeah.
where if that's what they choose to do because that's their free will, cool, I pray for you, may God bless you, but I can't be there. I can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I can't be a part of that.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just so many like instances like where and it's like I even like get like this feeling like sometimes like if I'm somewhere and I'm like, I like it's like God like and it's not that it's like a wrong place or anything, what I'm saying, negative is around me, I'm saying? I'm not going to the crack house, what I'm saying? Nothing
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
Like, but just what I'm saying, I just be placing God to be like, you shouldn't be here. And
Yeah.
so, and bro, and I'll go home. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like to have that where God's like, it's okay. You don't have to be out there like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's telling me like, be patient, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just sticking your word. Like it was like, even I like, and this one was recent, bro, where he like, so I felt like I didn't, that I was doing a disservice to God, right? Not that it's I don't even know if I'm wording this right, but I felt like that I feel like I was letting God down because I
Yeah.
like wasn't like reading my Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
to actually like open it up and read it, and you know what I'm saying. And I'll look in the apps. You know what I'm saying. And I'll be reading His Word or I'll listen to a sermon, but to pull out my Bible and actually read my Bible, I
Yeah.
felt like I'm saying. I'm like, oh man, you're not reading your Bible. And then it's like but you're reading you're reading the app, you know what I'm saying? Oh, did you just watch a sermon, and
Yeah.
it's just like me, maybe it's just me being hard on myself, but just setting my standard, my expectations and things like that, and God working through me. And when I'm like at work, bro, and he's like, read your Bible. And I'm like, I don't know where to start. He's like, pick a page. Pick a page and we'll go
Yeah.
from there, right? And so I pick it up and I'm reading it, bro. And it was like exactly what I needed for what I was going through. So like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like it was just I don't know, it's just a beauty in like God and seeing how he's still with me, even though like, I'm saying, I'm sober, going to work, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just doing the things that, you know what I'm saying, that I once prayed for. And you know what I'm saying? At times when I thought it was hard and you know what I'm saying, it's like where this new level that he's brought us to, this, like for 2026, you know what I'm saying? I'm like expecting the miracles, expecting the
Yeah.
good thing, expecting the hope. And you know what I'm saying, utilizing every like, trying my best to be utilized every opportunity that he presents, you know what I mean? It's so many times this year where it's like, like when I look back, like let's like me, it's like when I procrastinated or when I
Yeah.
was
Right.
lazy or when I was like, nah, I shouldn't do that. But to like push through and seeing like, you know what I'm saying, seeing when you keep going, like how I was telling you, bro, like you helped me get back on my podcasting stuff, bro. God worked through you because
Yeah.
like where I'm like sitting here, I was before I felt like I was trying really hard.
Yeah.
And it's like for me, it's not about like the views and it's not about the accolades or you know what I'm saying. Like I don't even
Yep.
like need like that little check mark by my name or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like where I just felt like you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got to a point where I'm like, man, why am I doing this? Like, man, you're trying so hard to where I was like, I didn't know what burnout was. So you know what I'm saying, I'm going to school, going to work, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
re you know what I'm saying, just being a part of everyday life, and you know what I'm saying, everything. And I was just like, man, I don't, you know what I'm saying, a podcast. Yeah. Like people like, oh, you still doing your podcast? Yeah, I got a podcast. But it wasn't like, hey yo, check out Benji podcast. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like how when I first started, but
Yeah. Well,
like
that's life, bro. Yeah,
yeah, you know,
it gets on you, you
yeah.
know.
But like
And
you were the light though, bro, that brought me back. Cause
yeah.
like, hey, I'm telling you, when Lee called me, like, hey yo, let's do something. For some reason, bro, I just jump up. All right, let's do it. You know.
Yeah.
So thank you, bro, a lot.
Yeah, bro,
Thank
because I think that that's how God works. Because for on my end, I was just like, man, I'm I just got done. I'm gonna call Benji up and let's get this podcast going. You know, because number one, we started from the beginning, and number two, you met me halfway, and then
you.
now this is the third one. But I didn't know what was going on in your life, so um, and that's when God comes in. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. God used me to
Mm-hmm.
intersect into your life and say, hey, you know what? Um, he might not know what's going on in your life, but um, I'm going to work through him and get you back on your feet, and
Yeah.
that happens to me too, because other people, they don't know what's going on in my life. I mean, I might be down, I might be up, but I needed to hear certain things from certain people because maybe their life is going certain way, and they needed to remind me, hey, you know what, you got to get back on the horse, and only God can do it the way he can.
Yeah.
I got something to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
about feeling stagnant and stuff like that, or being hard on yourself. Do you think that, well, obviously that's just, you being hard on yourself, but I truly believe that it's your heart, bro,
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, hey, I have to do certain things in order to reconnect with God. And sometimes we do that, bro. We're like, hey, I'm not in my Bible anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but we got to be careful not to be a robot in getting in the Bible,
Yeah.
and just, reading it and being like, okay, I'm done. I did my part and now I'm good with that. It's, do you have it in your heart though?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
I really want to do it? Is God
Yeah.
really, or am I just doing it because I, f- I feel like I'm just gonna go through the motions kind of deal,
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm wondering, did you
Mm-hmm.
feel that pressure on you to like, hey, I'm falling off, I'm not into my Bible, or was it like you're like, what, did you really feel it from God?
Yeah. I felt like we're so at the times like where, let me see, I'm feeling like I felt like not like the robotic side of it, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, of just that I'm just supposed to read it. I like my connection with him
Oh,
was,
okay.
you know what I'm
Okay.
saying, like that it, you know what I'm saying, it was there, but it I'm trying to see. It's like that it needed to be stronger. That it
Okay.
like
Okay.
where when I was like, just going through life and stuff like that, it's like something like missing kind of.
Yeah.
And like the thing that like he like put for me was like to read your Bible, to
Yeah.
read my
Okay.
living
Okay.
word,
Okay.
to because like what I desired, you know what I'm saying? Like
So it's
the
coming straight from the source to you and saying need to get back in the Bible versus you
yeah.
just saying, hey, you know what? I'm I'm not doing these steps anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. It was just he's like him telling me like, you know what I'm saying, that get like he's like, okay, so you want to get closer with me. You want to, you know what I'm saying, what you're desiring to feel like, you know what I'm saying, God being in my life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, here's a tool to do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, and you know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I'm like, just read that. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like
I,
that's like
I I
more
feel like
what
if
it
it's coming
was.
from the source, then you're on the right track,
Yeah.
instead of us being us and just saying, you know what, you know, I gotta make sure
Mhm.
I cross the I's
Right.
and
Yeah,
dot. I mean,
crossing the boxes and
yeah,
stuff.
and make sure I do all that because I don't feel a certain way, and
Yeah.
maybe sometimes what I've learned is that sometimes we feel a certain way because God, we're supposed to feel a certain way,
Yeah.
because um sometimes God would be you would feel I would feel distance from God,
Mhm.
and I'm like, man, am I like not but I needed that in my life at that time. I needed
Yeah.
that distance
Yo.
because the milk is getting too much for me, and so
Uh,
he needs to take that away.
yeah.
I learned that, and um So I would pray a lot during that time, you know, and make sure that, hey, you know what, God is still there. But at the same time, He's teaching me a lesson in everything that He's done in my life. You know, I find it that it's me just, you know, doubting what God has for me. And at the beginning of your journey, you know, you still have that doubt, you know, but the faith is there, but you
Mhm.
doubt yourself, you know, and
Yeah.
so you don't
Yeah.
doubt. I don't doubt God. I just doubt myself, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
I've been there.
but the thing is that um, you got to keep, you got to, no matter what, Benji, you got to keep holding on, you know.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And I think that that's what God desires for us to know that. And that's why sometimes we feel distant, is because we need to really rely on Him. And when you're up, it's easier, or I shouldn't say it's easier, but those are more prominent when you're up in the mountains and you don't, and you're calling out to God. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are like, yeah, you know, I'm doing that. But what about when you're in that warm, comfy chair and
Hmm.
you're like all comfortable, toasty, and you know, are you going to call out to Him then? You know, is it going to be
Yeah.
prominent then for you? And so I
Yeah.
think God desires those moments from you. And sometimes He leaves us alone because God loves us and He wants us to desire Him as much as He desires us, just
Yep.
like, you know. And so in those moments we got to call out to Him and say, hey, I want you in my life, God. I mean, He doesn't need, he he our God is such an amazing God that He wants to hear those things from His children, you know, to
Yeah.
say, hey, you know, as much as we love, He loves us, He wants that in return too, you know. And
Yep.
sometimes we forget that. We're like, yes, God loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. In fact, we go tell other people that, but we forget that God desires us as much as we desire Him too. So
Yeah.
you got to get the constant acknowledgement of, thank you, God, for being in my life, goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I agree.
So we got to remember, hey, you know what? God desires us as much as we desire Him,
Yeah.
you know? And just being, like I said, being up in the mountain,
Hmm.
you have that, you don't have that choice. You're just like, God, I need
Hmm.
you no matter what.
Yeah.
But what about when you're comfortable? What about when you're good? You know, are you still gonna call out to Him? That's the thing, you know?
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
yeah,
And like speaking of the mountains, like where so I know like you ran into like people, obviously on the journey.
yeah.
Did you ever come across any like wildlife or anything like that? Like,
Okay,
uh,
so I've seen beer poop,
oh, okay.
like fresh ones,
Oh, okay.
like ones that are still, I don't want to gross anybody out here on
Mhm,
here, but like still fresh and, you know,
mhm. Yeah.
yeah. And so, and that was interesting because I knew it was a beer thing and I knew that it was fresh. So I
Mhm.
knew they were around,
Okay.
but um, honestly, the truth is that they probably seen me before I even
Mm.
seen them. Like
Yeah.
those bigger, the predators, like
Mhm.
lions, mountain lions, and they
Yeah.
probably seen me, and I probably have no clue that they're there. They
Mhm.
already like scooted away. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah. And so, but all the other animals
Mhm.
I've seen foxes, deers, different kinds of deers from Minnesota.
Oh,
We have
okay.
the white-tailed deers here, but over there
Yeah.
they have the black-tailed deers.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen them up in the mountains of California. I've seen them. I've seen every of the smaller wildlife, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of wildlife, coyotes, foxes, but I haven't seen the bigger ones. But I know that they're present there,
Yeah.
and I know that they probably seen me. They just don't want to be where I am, you know. And
Right.
so they
Yeah.
kind of just moved out of the way while I
Mhm.
was running. So I know that for sure that they probably had an eye on me, but they're like,
Yeah.
we'll leave this guy alone.
Yeah. Yo.
And you know what? And I really truly believe that I was protected because of God working in my life too.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so He was watching out for me through all the times because for some reason the weather has just been amazing. I mean, not,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been nice. It's been really. I I'll tell you this. I didn't run into any storms as
Yeah.
far as like big storms.
Okay.
I ran into storms, but not major ones.
Right. Like a little rain here and there, but
Yeah, and
not
I
like
would
yeah.
have like heavy rain, but it's nothing major. And
Right.
I could hide out from it for a few, like maybe an hour or so, and it'd be gone. But nothing to the point where I was
Delayed or
life.
anything like
It
that.
was like I not life threatening, but I had to really watch out for,
Right. Okay.
and nothing major like that. Nothing major that I can't run through, or
Hmm.
make it through.
Yeah.
Um, so I truly believe that God was working in that aspect, and this is why it reassured me that this is the right path that I have taken,
Hmm.
because of those little things of Him just watching out for me, and the prayers that I been praying, been answering in forms of not the way I desire. I didn't get like um, nice clothes to go run and protect it, but no,
Hmm.
He did the supernatural things. He didn't give me like the fancy clothes to wear or whatever, although I did get shoes, but He protected me from the supernatural.
Yeah. Yo.
Yeah, the rain, the
Yeah.
animals, because I was running in His
For,
will. I was
yeah.
doing His will. So He
Yo.
protected me from the supernatural. I
Yeah.
just had
For
to
real.
deal with the natural, and just get through like trees and stuff like that. But the weather, the animals, the stuff that God controls, those are the things that He took care of. He's not gonna give me like $1 million and fancy,
Yeah.
like nice stuff to run in. That's
Right.
not His thing.
Right, yeah. He wants
Yeah.
to show like I felt like that's something that like I admire like with seeing you running and stuff like that. Like, you're in the everyday gear that you would see like somebody who goes to the gym or goes, you know what I'm saying? Like where for example, like not like all the fancy stuff cuz like when I used to play basketball, right?
Yeah.
I'd be at like LA Fitness or something, right? You'll see somebody come in, they got the whole like let's say Michael Jordan fit, his shoes, this and that, right? But they can't hoop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then you have somebody who's coming in, their shoes are look like they've been like worn and just everyday clothes, and they're out there like Steph Curry. So like I
Yeah.
really thought that was cool that where like it showed like your humbleness. You know what I'm saying? That you're like, hey, I have everything that I need. Like what I'm saying? Like even with like the eating, I saw that like you didn't eat out till like now it's like are you like back to eating like let's say like regular everyday eating because I saw before it was kind of like a regiment you had or like when you would post the things that you would eat
Yeah.
as you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
runner stuff for like
Right.
your high proteins and just different things that you
Right.
need for your energy. You know what I'm saying versus like the burger and fries and
Yeah. So,
things like that.
bro, the thing is that part of my running, God put it in a long for like a while way back.
Okay.
My addiction, throughout my addiction, God put the running because God knew that the running was going to be the toughest to ingrain in me versus the spiritual part that He put in me in Teen Challenge. And
Yeah.
that took like what, 2 3 years of my life, the last part
Right.
of it. So the eating and all that stuff went along with the running from the beginning.
Oh, so that's been the norm. Okay.
Yeah, and so because He knew that I needed to get used to that. And
Hmm.
so by the time I was on this journey, the running I got used to, the eating I got used to.
Hmm.
He knew those things were going to take longer, and so now he those are already ingrained and implemented into my everyday, to the point where it's second nature, literally. And so I don't have to think twice about, hey, you know what, I'm on the road, what am I going to eat to make me uh, be more comfortable, to run longer, to sustain myself. No, those are already developed from the beginning. And so
Hmm.
now I have carried that into the journey without thinking twice about it, and out of the journey, and
Yeah,
yeah. And
that's
so
real.
those things, those are habits, routines that have to be ingrained in you, Benji. And so
Yeah.
God already put those at the beginning, because those are going to be the tougher things to do. You got to consistently do it every day. And
Mm.
so throughout my journey, my addiction, I was doing all those things, but at that time I didn't realize that that was the process of what God working in my life. I had to make all those uh, routines and uh,
Repetition.
repetition to get to where I am today. And I did, and it stayed. It was ingrained in me. And so going in that journey, I knew exactly what I was going to eat. I
Yeah.
knew what I had to do. I knew the carbs. I knew the lean meat. protein that I had to, because God already put that in my life from the beginning. And
Yeah.
so um, I still am doing that because number one, that's been my routine from the beginning, and it didn't change from the beginning during the journey, and it's not going to change now.
Right.
But yeah, but I will say I met a few brothers in Kansas City, so
Mhm.
they kind of took me out to eat. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
had pho before?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Hmong brothers, Christian Hmong brothers up in KC. Shout out to Bruce and his family. Thank you, Bruce, brother Bruce. Um, they took me out to go eat. So that was the very first time I went out to go eat,
Oh.
and Sacramento too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay. That's
so I it was the diet that I've been eating
mm,
throughout my whole journey and beyond. Before that, there were a few times that I ate out, and now that I'm done,
mm,
I've been very blessed to have people invite me to go eat a little bit more,
yeah.
and so
Okay.
um, I think this time when I
Yeah.
got finally finished, I've been eating a little bit more of the stuff that I
Yeah. Didn't get a chance
yeah,
to. Yeah.
yeah, and so I've been very blessed in that way, and I'm very grateful for that too. So
Hey,
yeah,
nice.
but that's always been in there, Reggie. God knew. Yeah, the
Yeah.
spiritual stuff. I'm not saying it's easier, but it's not the physical. We live in a physical world. We are
Mm,
physical beings, right?
mm,
And so God knew that, and He prepped me for the physical already. The spiritual, um, that was all TC. That was the
yeah.
vessel of TC. That God, I had to be sober. Number one. Number
Yeah.
two, the spiritual came from the people that God put in my life, and that was within just the last 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
And you know what, bro? I asked God for wisdom, and He surrounded me with people with wisdom.
Yeah.
And so,
Definitely.
yeah, and so
That's the beauty.
the last the spiritual part, God really tightened that up at the 3 years, the last 3 2 3 years of my life to be on that journey. And so it's always prepping for the next with God.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, man, if all those things prep me for this journey, what is this journey prepping me for?
Oh.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so because it gets bigger, bigger every time.
Yo. Definitely.
At first, just getting up a stage,
Mm,
telling your testimony. Next, it's doing something else. Getting in front of a bigger crowd.
mm,
And then from there, um, going out into the streets, evangelizing, talking to strangers, telling them
yeah.
about God. And then from there, the stage gets bigger and bigger. Now you're going to physically run across this country and do something that not a lot of people are doing. And so it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So now I'm just like, God, what's next?
Mm,
Like, I can't wait because I trust you first and foremost. And I know whatever you have for me, it's gonna be something that I wouldn't be, it'd be from, I could have never imagined, and it sets up for the next thing. And
mm,
so when you realize that God does that, wanna you you're excited about life. You're excited about the next step. You're excited about getting in the Bible. So you don't even need anybody to tell you to get in the Bible. You don't need anybody to tell you, hey, go to church. No, you're already
mm.
too excited.
Yeah. You're ready to go.
Yeah, because of what he's done in your life. So when I see people and they're like, forcing themselves to get in the Bible, you know what? Pray more, bro.
Yeah.
Get in the, because you should be excited about getting in the Bible, and
Yeah.
I see now why, those guys that are pastoring and preaching, they're super fired because, they felt the power,
Yeah.
they felt the
Exactly.
power. They're excited to get up every morning and preach,
Mm,
and they don't have to sit, and it just comes to them and they preach because God, it comes straight from the source. Speaking of the source, you
yeah.
know
For real. Like,
yeah,
nah, I agree. Cause like,
yeah,
where you see that light in them, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went to, it was with Pastor Terry. It was so, this thing it was a, alumni event, right?
yeah,
Um, and so it was called, Walking in Wisdom, right? And it was on my birthday, right? November 1st. And so for me, right, people like ask me, "Oh, what do you want to do for your birthday?" This and that,
right,
da-da. And like for me, I so it's called Walking in Wisdom. I'm thinking we're actually about to go on a walk. I was like, yo, this is cool, you
Walking
know.
wisdom,
W-
walking in wisdom.
Walking in wisdom.
Okay,
So I'm thinking we're about to like go, like it's a
right.
walking event, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They're like, you want to go for a walk for your birthday? I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
MNTC, it's my, good environment, community and stuff like that. And but it was like, but it wasn't a walking event. It was like, like inside a building and stuff like that. But I got a chance to see PT, see
right.
him preach again, and bro, it just brought me back, bro, to where
Yeah,
I'm sitting in those chairs in the mornings, like morning chapel and stuff like that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And so, like, and seeing the fire in them, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It was like, so it was beautiful, like seeing the pastor, like, so I thought that was, I could relate to that. Like when you say that they get to speak the word of God every day, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And so it's
yeah.
like where, that's really cool.
So was that his deal? Like
Uh,
Pastor Cherry's thing, the walk-in.
oh, it was,
Well,
it was, like how each month they have, alumni.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, so it was like one of those.
Oh, okay.
So it was,
So that's what you did for your birthday was
mhm.
attend that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, TC event, you know?
Okay.
So and it was like so I'm there with my fiance, right? And she met, well, not met, but like ran into some TC family again. And they, I guess they were a part of Everyday Church out in Roseville, I think. And
Yeah.
so like when we go to Roseville Church, and bro, it was like awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like where, because we've been like, oh, what church should we go to? This and that, like that whole, oh, we're not looking for like a perfect church, nothing like that, but just
Yeah.
where God is like calling us to. And it was like because of me wanting to do that for my birthday, she ran into somebody who then like, recommended a church. And so she's like, okay, yeah, go check it out. And then we go check it out. And what I'm saying, my fiance, she's trying to like work there at the church. She's like, because like she feels called to, like, what I'm saying, just be in the church. Like she's like, I'm like, it's like, yeah, I want to be in the church. I'm like,
Yeah. That's good.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just cool. It's just, from hearing the pastor to seeing where like God leads us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
Bro,
know.
speaking of church, I got to
Mm.
tell you about the churches that I attended during
Oh
my
yeah,
journey.
bro. Yeah, tell me about
Yeah.
it, bro.
Bro, you know what? It felt like in a way like how we used to be in choir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, I've seen like and that talking about preparation, that really prepared me for that too. At the
Mm,
choir trips and going to different churches and seeing just meeting different people, the congregations at these churches, from
mm,
the super big mega churches to like tiny churches that would only fit like 20 people. And that's what happened in my TC uh, time too. And
mm,
just going up into Duluth, going up into like International Falls and seeing all those smaller
mm,
church. And so
mm.
I was used to that. And it was just
Yeah.
a it was, man, it was awesome just to be in a town. And
Yeah.
I don't know, random town on a Sunday, and
Yeah.
just look up a church and just go to it in
Yeah.
walking distance. And I would
Mm,
walk with my running free hat on, and they would just be like, I would tell them about my mission and my journey.
mm.
And I had people like from different ages, and they would just come up and want to hear why, my journey.
Yeah.
And I would tell them about it. And um so I want to say hi to all the people that I've met. I'm not,
What's
that
up,
the
y'all?
churches from, man, bro, it's just been um all the churches is just
Uh,
amazing, to be in all those churches. And um that was like a bonus. And I would look
yeah.
forward to Sundays. That's why I don't run on Sundays
Mm,
on my journey, because I want
yeah.
to spend that time with number one, with the Lord, and number two, attending these churches and telling them about my story too. And
Yeah.
when I wear my running free gear in there, people ask. And when you're new there, they ask too. They're like, "Are you
Yeah.
from here, or are you?" And I just tell them what, and I would tell them. And some of the times they would go and you know they would say, "Hey, do you want to like get up and tell them?" And so
Yeah.
you get,
What?
yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so um in fact, I've got people that would support my mission too.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And they would be like, "Hey, you know what, you're on this journey with God, and we understand why you're doing it.
Mhm.
So if we could help you in any way we could. And so they would just help me out with like maybe a room or like
Mhm.
lunch or anything,
Yeah.
and so I was blessed by in that aspect as well, just being at
Yeah.
churches, and them realizing that I'm running for a cause, I'm running because of what God's done in my life, and
Mhm.
just meeting so many people. And the thing is that it's just not a certain type of people, it's everybody,
Yeah.
like young, old. um in fact, I was in Missouri when I went to a church, and an elderly couple came after I sat down.
Mhm.
I was sitting down, and the lady, they were making their way to their seats, but they had to
Mhm.
get by me.
Okay.
And so I got up, and the lady looked at me, and she was they were an elderly couple, and she looked at me. She's like, "Running free, what is that?" My hat,
Yeah.
right?
Yup.
And then I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I told her about it, and I'm like, man, it's my perfect opportunity to tell her about it. And so I
Yeah.
told her about my journey. I show her my Facebook, because
Mhm.
you always got to show the Facebook.
Yeah, you got to,
Yeah,
bro. You
because
got,
they're like,
yeah.
and so I show them where I've been and my journey, and they're like, oh, shoot, you are doing this for real.
Yeah, hey, that's what I like about
Yeah,
it. Like just keeping like
you're
a
not just wearing that hat, you're actually doing this,
right.
and so
Yeah.
people. And so she's like, and I didn't expect anything, but after the service was over, as they were leaving, she came up to me and she was like, young man. I still get a trip when they call me young man.
Yeah, young man, young man.
Yeah, young man, we love what you're doing, here's a few bucks to like support. So they
Yeah.
like they people would just pour out their hearts to you because they know that you're doing this because of God, and so
Mhm.
that couple, you know they were so genuine and very nice at that time to me, and they believed, all those people that I talked to believe in my journey and the cause that I was doing. So it's just, they are just some of the one of the many that has stopped and talked and asked,
Yeah,
but they were
definitely.
they're stuck in my head because they're so sweet, and
Yeah.
yeah. And so you get that. And I also got a gentleman in Denver too
Mhm.
that came up to me and say, hey, you know what, I've, he checked out my Facebook, and I think he's actually friends with me on Facebook now, but he checked it out and he was like, man, is there anything I could do for you? Do you need a place to stay and stuff like that? So people just,
Yeah.
realizing again that what you're doing. And so you get all those. And you know, people that don't even know me, but they know what God's doing in my life.
Mhm.
Strangers, they would come and just because they know God,
Yeah.
then they accept me and they know me as well, and that's
Exactly.
powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very
bro,
powerful.
I love that because like when you're doing something for God and you're doing something that aligns with His will and something that what I'm saying, like with like when you like enjoy to do
Yeah,
it too, like doing stuff for God is so cool, y'all. Like
yeah,
hear me out when I say He will make a way. When what I'm saying, even if you don't know how, He will make a way for you. He will bring people to provide for you, for people that will just be like, hey, oh, you're doing what? And what I'm saying, and then like how we're they see your mission for God
right,
and they're like, what I'm saying, like where they're like, yo, I support you. I
yeah.
got you. You know what I'm
So
saying? Just because you're with God, bro.
yeah,
Like
so
rolling with God is the coolest thing
yeah,
ever.
so that reminds me that of doors that are open because of the person of who we know. The
Mm,
ultimate connection is God.
yes. Yeah.
If you know God, like the doors will be open because of Him, and because you have this relationship with Him, and people see that and they're like, hey, you know what? We don't know you particularly. In fact, you're a stranger, but we do know the guy that you believe in. We do know
Exactly.
the Holy One that you believe in, and we're gonna do this because of Him. And so that's a very powerful thing. I don't know you, but I know Him, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this for you because of Him.
Yep.
you know
Exactly. That's the beauty in it, bro.
yeah,
It's
so
like,
God is the ultimate connection. And when you know the man up there,
you
people know people,
yeah, they know that you
yeah.
know that they know that the creator
Yeah,
is
so
with
talk about
you
doors
with
open, talk about
yeah.
connections, man. God is the ultimate connection,
For
and
real.
so and and that's why when I go to these places, when the mere mention of God,
Mm-hmm.
they would the ones that don't have him in their life, they desire him, the ones that have lost him, they
Go back to him.
yeah, and the ones that need him, they cry out for him. They
Yeah.
cry out to you for him.
Yeah.
And the ones that know him, they're willing to accept you because they know him, you
Exactly.
know?
They said if God accepts you, we accept you.
Yeah.
You know, like
So
that's
it's
cool.
like, man, Benji, I don't know your friend, but I know you. So
Hmm.
you're good, you know?
Yeah.
And with God, everybody's good in his book. And so,
Yeah.
um,
It's like on here
so
it says, "My God loves everyone, everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. He loves you. He cares for you. He will provide for you. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
And so that's part of like just getting by every day because God is there providing, you
Yeah.
know, and that's why I was able to just maneuver my way across America because God was watching out for me. The connections were already being formed, the people were already being, you know, put in place. And all I had to do was just get out there and physically run the run that He's been preparing me for, you
Yeah.
know.
I
he's
saw
he's
that.
been preparing me for that. All I had to do was physically say yes and get out there, or
Yeah.
being obedient and getting out there and taking that first step and just every day putting those
Yeah.
steps in. That's all I had to do, Benji. He took care of
Yeah.
everything else.
All
Because
you had
I
to do is show up.
Yeah, because I work for him now.
Yeah.
I was, and
Hey.
so all I had to do was just show up and put one feet in front of, as simple as that. And he
Mhm.
took care of everything else. It was his show. I was just moving from place to
Mhm.
place. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
everything was taken care of. Although, if I wasn't a believer, I would be like, "This is impossible," you know, and it
Mhm.
wouldn't. None of this would have happened if I
Right.
wasn't, except if God wasn't in my life. You know,
Mhm.
none of the stuff would be moved to the spot that I needed to be.
Right.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
might, you know, to the norm, to the people, to it would it look like I would. It's something that maybe I got, you know, people would say, you know what, like he just got, you know, like things didn't happen, you know, whatever. But
Mhm.
to the people that know, they know that God's
Yeah.
working. You know, they
Yeah.
know that things didn't happen because God was working, God was protecting,
Yeah.
and it wasn't just because my prayers, it was because other people were praying for me
Yeah.
too, you know.
Definitely. We would support you the whole way,
Yeah,
bro. Like where I feel like everybody that you've ever come in contact with and like, you know, from all over now we can say all over the country. You know what I'm saying? Like when we meet you, Lee, like you're a real light. You're a real, you know, inspiration and like, you know what I'm saying, you give us hope. Like we literally see you, bro, and we're like, wow, like you know what I'm saying? We're like, wow, in amazement to where seeing your faith and seeing how God is working in you to where we just, hey, wherever God's sending him, we got you, bro.
yeah, that's
Whatever we
all.
got to do to help you, bro, is like
Yeah,
because we know that God has, you know what I'm saying, his mission in you and his continuance in you. And like, you know, we're just excited to see. So keep doing whatever he places on your heart
yeah.
because, bro, we believe in you.
Yeah, thanks, Benji. And you know what, bro? I will tell you that the support from the people that God has placed in my life, tremendous,
Mhm.
tremendous.
Yeah.
That's just one way of God, one aspect of way God has um, worked in my life throughout this journey is the people that He has put the foundation, the people
Mm-hmm.
from TC. Because,
Yeah.
bro, some days I would be just like dead tired, but I would just get a message and be like, "Hey, we're you can do it. Keep going," and
Mm-hmm.
that goes so much in a long way. I mean, you know, just
Yeah.
that encouragement,
Yo.
and not just from one person, but like multiple
Yeah. I
person
can
people.
imagine your
Yeah,
inbox, bro. It's
and just like
crazy.
yeah, just keep going. You got this. And so
Mhm.
those help me so much, you know, because I'm like, man, I just got to keep going. And
Yeah.
honestly, without those people, I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be able to do it, bro. You know, the
Mhm.
encouragement. If I was back in my addiction days and I was trying to do this thing, bro, I
Mhm.
would have ran like 2 days and you know,
Yeah.
gone nowhere because you
That's how
know
we are
I
in
didn't have
addiction.
God.
Yeah,
I would have
exactly.
just did you know ran 2 days and end up you know back at the same spot I was. You know,
Yeah, it would have been like one of them like pipe dreams, like, oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna
I
do
could
this,
honest.
and then
I,
it's not even.
people say, you know what? People don't really. Some people say, yeah, whatever. But for me, I know the truth. I know that I couldn't have done this without God. I would have done it for maybe like the longest. If I really pushed myself, maybe I would say a few days. But
Mhm.
no, not eight
Not the
months.
whole distance. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, and
yeah.
it's
This is a
crazy.
God bro, this is what God did.
Yeah, and like in 8 months, bro, that's like wow. Like when I like saw the number, I'm like, it's been 8 months. I was like, wow, here, you know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah,
like when I see like the it's this thing like on your it shows like the route you took,
yeah,
like that like line and stuff.
right,
And like so it's like, you know what I'm saying? You see the line going across, but then the dots, bro.
yeah,
Like I'm like,
yeah,
wow. He's you know what I'm saying, each spot, each
yeah. Stop
step.
that there. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
bro, that's like man, that's cool to see, bro. Like
yeah,
and then like we're with the wearing this hat, bro, y'all gotta get you one of these because like I'm telling you, bro, you know how many conversations where I had the opportunity, the chance to tell your story, bro. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Oh, with a
To
hat.
like, yeah, like your journey, because
Yeah,
like they say the thing like running free. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like it's this face that they make of like curiosity, like running
yeah,
free. I'm like, and then like me, bro, I always just end up smiling. I'm like, let
yeah,
me tell you. It's
yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you about my Jesus.
yeah.
He's work
Exactly.
he's working in this man to run across
Right.
America. And then like I'll show him the Facebook. So I'll show him, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I'm like, if you go on my YouTube, you can see that like this is what he's doing, you know. Here's his story. Here's his
Right.
running like running across America. You know what I'm saying? Because it's unheard of, you know. Nobody just like, oh, I'm gonna run across America. I mean, they might say it, but to actually do it, bro, man, proud of you, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
One thing is that I, I didn't really when I first was given that name, Running Free. I didn't really like it.
oh yeah.
I was just like, yeah, because one of the clients up in TC Duluth, they're like, I was running every day. It was like, whoa, running. You remember that song, Walking Free?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we would sing that in choir every day. So I'd be on the treadmill and they'd be like, they'll switch that from walking free to running free. And I
Yeah.
used to hate it, bro.
Oh
I used
man.
to be like, whatever, God, no, I don't, like, it's just like, I'm like, and then it kind of grew on me, bro. It
Hmm.
grew on me. And then one day I'm just like, man, I'm going to run across this country because God put it on my heart and I'm going to use, and running free is going to be the name behind it,
Yeah.
And so it's funny how things work, how
Mm,
God puts things in
yeah.
place.
He'll
Cause
take something that we don't like
yeah.
and use
And
it for
bro,
our
now,
good.
now it's such a, now I think about it and it's such a perfect name,
Yeah.
because that's my life in through God's eye. It's just the struggles and everything. It's just now I'm able to run free because before I was running,
Yeah.
but I wasn't running free. I was running in addiction.
Mhm.
I
Running
was,
on the treadmill, or
yeah,
not the tread, the hamster wheel they call it.
yeah. So I was
Yeah.
just running in my addiction. I was running, but I wasn't running for the purpose. I wasn't running uh, for anything. I was just running because, well, number one, God put that in my life. I didn't realize that at that time. I was just running because I liked it, It was, but I
Mhm.
didn't realize what God was doing in my life. And so, and I was still in my addiction.
Mhm.
I was still, and that's the biggest thing, takeaway is that running, it wasn't running that saved my life. It was God that put running in my life to change, to save my life.
Mhm.
And before I was at TC, I would always think that, hey, I gotta keep running because if I don't, um, that's the only thing I got going for me that was saving me. Running is it. Running, if I didn't do running, I would just, I didn't have anything else besides the drinking. But what
Mhm.
I didn't know is that God put that in my life. And I didn't realize that until I came into TC. And
Yeah.
then the addiction went away. God
Mhm.
took that away.
Yeah.
And now I have running and then the purpose behind it. So um, it was crucial that I had that relationship with God because number one, He was the one that put the running in my life. Number two, when I came into GTC, He took the addiction away. So now I got the running free and God working in my life and the purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
For
so,
real.
um, whatever you have in your life, don't focus on that. Know that it's from God and know that use whatever God has give you to serve others, because that's the whole intention behind it. And that's not the, don't focus on that. For instance, if you're really into music and you make it your world, don't just focus on that and do that. Do it, but do it in a way where you could give back to God, instead of just doing it for your own selfish reason, like, oh, I'm going to do it and try to get rich of it, try to get as much as I can out of it. Don't do it for that, but do it knowing that it was given to you because it was meant for something bigger.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized with running, is that while I was running, I was still in my addiction. It didn't help my addiction at all. I was just running with my addiction.
Mm.
But when I had God in my life, I became running free. I didn't have the addiction. I didn't desire to go drink. So it wasn't because of the running, it was because of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
God
so
running with you in
yeah,
the
so whatever
steps.
you're passionate about,
Mm.
that's God telling you, hey, use this. I've given you this. You're
Mm.
good at this. Go take that and go and give it back to, bring it back even more than how I gave it to you, go help others with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
definitely.
that's what I realize now, is that whatever he's given you, you got to you got to use it for to help others. Imagine,
Right.
okay, so imagine in a world, Benji, where you have a gift that God's giving you. I have one, other people have one. We all combine those to serve God.
Powerful, bro.
Yeah,
It
imagine
sounds
that.
like
Imagine we
a
all,
perfect society.
yeah, imagine we all use the gift that God has given us for its intended purpose,
Yeah.
instead of for things that um, are not, for things that, are not important, like,
Yeah.
getting, just, the things that prior to where we are now,
Right.
what we were
Yeah.
doing before, you
Exactly.
know,
Like, yeah.
like I love running, but if I were just running from the cops, come on,
Right.
let's use it for something better, let's use it
Exactly.
to help inspire others. Let's use it to show others that, hey, you know what, although you've been broken, you could get out of here, instead of using our talents for other things,
Right. Where's
yeah, like,
the only profit is to show God. Like that's the bonus. That's the
yeah,
beauty in it. Like where something that we enjoy doing or like our gifts, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, using it for God and like
yeah,
serving because where I notice like where a lot of times like I feel happier when I give back. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like versus like you could, you know what I'm saying, if you have like a bunch of food but everybody around you is starving, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh well, you know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised how where you could still survive and then watch everyone else, nourish them, but it's God feeding them, you know what I mean?
yeah. What's that quote that says, man, what's that quote? Shoot, I was just thinking about it. Um, um, shoot, I forgot it.
Reach one, teach one.
No, the
Or
quote where, um, oh, never mind, I forgot about it.
it'll come back to
Yeah,
you.
yeah, but no, last thing I want to touch on is the finish.
The finish.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because
Yeah.
so I was in Mill Valley,
Yeah.
Cali,
Okay.
before coming into San Francisco, right?
Hmm.
And I literally, bro, ran around San Francisco. I ran down to Oakland, and then I found out I couldn't run across the Bay Bridge.
I seen your post on that. Yeah.
So I was like, man, another, I was like, God, what am I going to do here? Because I can't cross over this bridge. There's
Yeah.
no way I could cross over it. I've had people message me, maybe you could call the city, you know.
Mm,
And I was like, man, the city is not going to shut that down for me,
yeah.
And, but you know what? And people are like, so I was just laying there, and then all of a sudden, boom, exactly how he told me to run across the country, a voice said, run from the north.
Okay.
And then I was like, yeah, let me look into that. And then I got on my phone, I looked, and I'm like, yeah, I could.
That's how you did it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just
What?
got, and then there was the Richmond Bridge,
Mm,
but that one was totally accessible by pedestrians.
wow.
So I was like, bingo, there we go.
Yeah.
So God was right there, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And then like where sometimes he'll take us like because it's like from the map there, it sounds like you had to like run down here to run back up to the north.
Yeah, I
So
ran
you know he
down to Oakland, and then
yeah.
I ran all the way down to like southern Oakland, and
Okay.
then I was like, man, because at the same time, I was also, see, this is another how God works. I was there. If I had just tried to like just run across, I would have been stuck, because
Oh
that was
yeah.
my whole intention, just to run across the Bay Bridge, and I
Okay.
would have been stuck, and then I had to probably run back. But my guys, Jesse and Mike, they were coming
Mm.
down too. They were driving down, so I had time to wait for them. So I
Uh,
had time to assess the situation,
yeah.
and I assessed it, and I was just looking at the Bay Bridge, and there was no way I was gonna be able to ex, assess it, access it. And then I got that that moment of revelation, and I was like,
Yeah.
man, I'm gonna go north.
Yep.
So the next day, which I had planned to chill for a little bit and wait for the guys to come down, I was
Mm.
like, man, today I'm gonna have to work again, you know. And so I
Yeah.
took off from Oakland, 25 miles over the Richmond Bridge, which was beautiful, by the way. The fog coming off the bay, such a
Mm.
beautiful. Um, I couldn't see a thing. Number one, running
Yeah.
across that bridge, and then after I got that, I went down into Mill Valley,
Mhm.
California, which is a super gorgeous town.
Yeah.
I think that you know I looked it up, and I think some of the residents there were that own homes there were like Tom Cruise.
What? Okay.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
it's a very
Prestige, high
yeah,
society
yeah, there we
type
go.
stuff.
And people that live or people that know California, they know about that area. But
Uh,
it's super nice. And so it's also AKA flood city.
mm,
In fact, when I got there, it was flooded.
mm,
And so I stayed there for a night, and then um, my brothers Mike and Jesse came down, and
mm.
then I ran from there to the Golden Gate Bridge, and that
Yeah.
was a blast. I was just smiling all day, all throughout that run.
Hey.
But the best part was when I was coming up 101, Highway
Okay.
101. It was a gradual climb up into uh, when you were coming from this side of the bay, and you were hitting more the 101, and then you would go up,
Mm.
and then from there, I mean, bro, there were bikers, cyclists that were coming down from the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh.
Bro, they were just zooming down.
Yeah.
I was just actually going the way that they were coming. So they
Oh.
were just like zooming past me, bro.
So oh, it's like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could go across the highway, but
Right.
yeah, but that was right next to us on the side of the mountain.
Mm.
So I was just on this side where the bay was. And so I
Okay.
was just running up the 101, and they were coming down. Those guys was just flying.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I was with God, so it didn't matter. I was just
Yeah.
so like smiling. I was
Yeah.
just like, and then when I got up there, bro, I saw the tip of the Golden Gate Bridge because it was all
Mm,
fogged out from the bottom, and then I could see the tip. Bro, when I saw that, I nearly lost it.
mm.
Like the emotions of 8 months of my whole life was all in that moment.
Wow.
I literally like had tears in my
Yeah,
eyes.
those tears of joy just
Yeah, because
uh,
that was a moment I realized like that golden that iconic red bridge wasn't red anymore. It was like that.
mm.
It was like golden,
Wow. Yeah.
and it was like gleaming golden.
What?
Yeah, and bro, I
Hey.
almost lost it. Like I felt weak in the knees. I've never felt weak in my knees running this whole journey, but I did that
Yeah.
moment. I felt like I was just gonna like fall over or just my knees like get and that
Yeah.
bridge was just glowing
Wow.
because the real lazy it was like God looking down on me and saying, well done,
Yeah.
you've done it. And for me to realize that I've done this thing and it was the right thing, it was the thing that God has put on my heart, it was the purpose that he had for me. And in anybody's mind, they could have doubted me that is this what God wanted you to do. But to me, when I reached that part of my journey, those it was like it doesn't matter what anybody says, you
Mm.
are on the right path, you are doing this for me, and I am proud of you, and well done. And 8 months, everything came, and I
Wow.
just realized that. And I almost like I my knees were weak, I felt the emotions. That's when so
Mm.
that was like the finish, the end
Yeah.
right there. The other part, crossing the bridge, that was just having fun. From there on, it was just like,
It's a blast.
yeah, it was just like God, it was like God saying, enjoy it. Enjoy this
Mm.
moment with your buddies because you
Yeah.
made it. That was just like God telling me, hey, now you can enjoy it.
What?
Yeah.
All right,
So,
I'll just set this out real quick. But yeah, that man, that is tight. Like
Yeah.
where you know what I'm saying, like where God he like you know, it's times where you know they think they're living like living a new life, living sober. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had it myself where you know I'm like, is this really gonna be fun? Is this really gonna you know what I'm saying? Am I really gonna feel good? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and it is. It's worth it. You know what I mean? Like because especially like you know he'll give that to you. He'll give you that joy. He'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? Those just that good feeling. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
bro,
So
it's like every part of that, I noticed that it stood out to me in the ways of how he planned it more. When I was running, he was already planning it, but it wasn't as highlighted at the as much as the ending. The ending, it was like um, the God was working, planning every little thing
mhm,
because he was like, "Hey, I'm proud of you, but take this moment to enjoy yourself." Because and
yeah,
running across the Golden Gate Bridge, I was able to do that. And then at the end, he was like, "Slow down, go to the ocean." And when I went to the ocean, that's when it hit me another time that I have, and that's when I thank him. So it was like, "Hey, I'm proud of you. Well done. Now go enjoy it." But at the end, you could thank me later. You know,
yeah.
so it was
Definitely.
it was like the way he planned it, not the way I planned it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because if it was
definitely.
me, I would have went straight to the ocean. You know, but
Yeah,
him, he put those things in for me to realize that you know what, I'll give you your fun, but at the same time, I want you to realize that this is the purpose I have for you.
yeah,
And so he lets you know in those certain times. So it was like planned out by him, and at
yeah.
the end, it was really highlighted and significant because he wanted me to really see it versus during the journey it
Mhm.
was just like not as prompt, not as highlighted because he wanted me to keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah, he didn't want me to if he gave that to me during that time, I would have been
right.
stuck there. I
Yeah.
would have maybe but he
Mhm.
gave it to me at the right time at the end. He was like, now you could go and run and have a little time for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for real.
so
So yeah, man, that's awesome, man. Like, cause where it just it makes me think like this one just popped in my head. Like, I don't know. Like, so what's next for Lee? Like,
um
what's God like placed on your heart? What are like
TC.
what OTC?
Yeah,
Okay,
I got to go back there, and
yeah,
I think that that's the next thing because as I know that this is what God has been preparing me for is to help others now. Especially
yeah.
the people that are walking through the doors at TC, um,
Hey,
that are um, that was like me when I walked through the doors. All
yeah.
nervous, don't know what's gonna happen, and they need to say, hey, you know what, it's gonna be okay. God's here.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
Like I kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like where I can imagine like, you know what I'm saying, like when I first like entered TC, right? Like to be in the to wake up in the morning to you would be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like to sit over here because you know like how where first you have so for those who don't know at TC, so what you have is in the morning you will go to you know chapel, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But first you know what I'm saying, you like for me it was we'd all wake up, we all go to the gym, you know what I'm saying? They do like roll call just to see
right,
who's all there and stuff. I can't remember this guy's name, but there was this one guy who was there where he would always read a verse, you know what I'm saying? Like he's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
oh, this is a and it wasn't even like a verse a day. He's like he didn't even have to do it. He's like, I got a verse for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just in his own, like this is what God, you know what I'm saying, put on his heart for him to give back to the guys, you know what I'm saying? So every morning wake up to him and it's like at first I'm just like, okay, bro's got a verse. That's you know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
I'm still like coming out of addiction. I'm like, that's nice, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? But the more that I, you know what I'm saying, kind of got into it and stuff like that,
yeah.
like his verses like that he would like that were on his heart for that day for us really hit me. You know what I'm
Was
saying?
that was that a Steven short
Yeah,
term?
yep, short term
Okay.
Stevens,
Oh, you
yeah.
guys did that
But,
too? Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
we did too up in Duluth.
Yep, yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, and like where so like and it's like I really, you know what I'm saying, growing to like the one guy who was doing it, I can man, it's crazy, I can't remember his name, but like you know what I'm saying, you grow to you look forward to that. It's like what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah.
so I can see a guy's already like looking forward to you and you know what I'm saying, like you know like how at TC you'll get time to like the employees that actually talk to you, they'll tell you your stories. And so like
Yeah.
I really think that's cool that you're going back to help because like when people hear your story, bro, they're gonna be amazed. Like they're just gonna be like, we gotta go where? Hold on, wait, I'm still listening. And you know what I'm saying? And you let them know, like,
It,
oh, I'm gonna still be here when y'all get back. Go do your program, and then you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I think that God has opened those doors for me, and God has opened those doors, and it's going back to TC. I think that that door is the door that's been open.
Yeah,
So I don't see any other doors, that God wants me to go through, and so
yeah,
I'm really gonna focus on just going there and helping people,
yeah,
and in any way that I can, because me and you, we know how it is when you first come into the doors of TC,
um,
and so just to be that comfort, to be the encourager, to say, hey, you know what, everything's gonna be okay. I really and I there's people that came before me and they did that for me, and
yeah,
now I just got to take that next step and do it for the next guy, the next brother that's coming through,
yeah,
and because um, that's what God has brought me to do, is just um, to be that person, to be that at the I was gonna say gates, but at the doors of TC, so to speak,
yeah,
gates,
yep,
to come
yeah,
in and say, hey, you know what, I'm ready to change my life, and um, I love to see I love to see when and I've seen a little glimpse of that throughout my journey, is when it clicks,
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like, they
That
get
part,
it,
yeah.
and they're
You
like,
see
wow,
the
God is
spark.
actually working in my life. Because for me, that realization of when God it clicked, that was when I was like fired for God, because there was that person encouraging me every day not to give up, and I didn't. And when it finally clicked, that's when I was like, man, whoever this Jesus person is, I'm gonna follow him, because um, I've seen the miracles that start happening in my life, like exactly how that encourager was telling me. And so now I get
Yeah,
to be that person. I get to be that person that watched people when the things click for them, that thing click for them,
yeah,
and see them accept God into their life. And that's a beautiful moment. And you know what, Benji, I would never ever get tired of that, because when you see the light in here pop up and light up, and people get it, and they leave all that addiction away and follow God. That's the best thing to experience.
yeah. Everybody